Hello, 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 everyone. It is January 14th, 2015. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know it's been a while since I have seen everybody. Um, I'm excited about today's webinar. Well, I call it a webinar, but it's really more like a Q&A. Just getting questions and immediate feedback from you. Literally answering your questions submitted via email, because I know with so many changes happening on Facebook and Twitter and just throughout social media in general, a lot of you have questions. So my intention for 2015 is to do more of these little events where you can ask me questions directly, so you can get the answers that you need, and so you can really demystify and take some of that frustration out of your efforts using social media. And two, so you can get results. At the end of the day, you're using social media, especially as a business, to get results. So first thing I want to do is to go over some of the things that I know you're going to have to take in consideration, and some things you're really going to have to wrap your social media strategies around for 2015. Because with Facebook doing more changes, and you can expect more changes, Twitter, LinkedIn, all the major platforms are going through some form of changes in 2015 that will impact how you use them. It will impact your reach on these platforms, and thus it may very well impact your business, especially if you are relying solely on social media marketing to boost your business. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to share my screen. I got a PowerPoint presentation together here. Hold on, I'm going to share my screen just a second. Let me get it together here. Here we go. We're ready. Oh, I wanted to say too, before I even start that, if you do have a question, if you missed the deadline to submit your questions, then you can go ahead and submit your questions if you want to. Just submit your questions. If you're watching on YouTube, then you can go ahead and submit them in the comments. If you're watching on Google+, then you can submit your comments there. And you can always, of course, contact me via email at alice@suresocial.com, and on Twitter and Facebook. And I'll get to that a little later. All right, so here we go. Okay, so right from the start, let's go ahead and get started. One of the first things you're going to have to really contend with, especially on Facebook this year, is the fact that organic reach is nearly dead. I hate to say it, but the reality of it is you can expect your organic reach to drop almost to nothing, because at this point, Facebook is really serious about making brands and businesses really utilize Facebook ads in order to reach your audience. Because people generally, their thinking is people are not on Facebook to interact with businesses. They're on Facebook to interact with their friends and to interact with associates and things of that nature. But they are not there to interact with you as a business. So Facebook is making it more difficult to interact with people as a business or a brand on Facebook. And if you want to get into the news feed where everybody else is, you're going to have to pay for it. So you might as well just get into your mind right now that not that you can't have any organic reach at all. That's not what I'm saying. But to get the most out of Facebook now, just get a budget. Just go ahead and budget for doing some ads via Facebook. The other thing you got to take in consideration now about Facebook, going back to what I just said about being overly uh, as a brand trying to be too promotional and always talking about your business and things of that nature. The reality of it is you can't be, or you shouldn't be, overly promotional on Facebook anymore. Keep in mind, again, you are people are not on Facebook to interact with businesses per se, unless you're giving them something of value, a discount, coupon, giveaways, and things of that nature. But the reality of it is most people are on Facebook to engage with their friends. So Facebook literally wants us as businesses to be more, less promotional and more conversational. And what they'll do is they will begin lessening the reach of the posts that are just very, very salesy. So I have an example here of two posts. Technically, one is very, very salesy, and the other one is more conversational. So as you're developing your content, especially your posts for your fan pages, as administrators or whoever has access to your page, don't think immediate sell. I mean, at the end of the day, you're on business. Yes, you're on Facebook for business purposes, but you got to figure out how to craft your Facebook post so that they're not such a hard sell. They don't sound like the used car salesman in a midday ad. That's not what you're going for anymore. That is not the way to go. You want to craft your Facebook posts so that they sound more conversational. They're not a hard sell. Now, also on Twitter, in case you hadn't heard, Twitter has really upgraded the search. And now every public tweet since the beginning of Twitter is searchable. That could be good and that could be bad for some people, especially you as a business. People can now search things that you said long ago. That can be good or that can be bad. But at this point, the advantage to you as a business is you can start searching for mentions of your business, especially those positive mentions that were made a couple of years ago. And now you can take that content and use it as you so choose. You can retweet it. You can put it in your newsletter. You can do whatever literally you want to do with it promotionally. So it's a good thing for the most part. It really is, if indeed you can take advantage of that kind of, if you can take advantage of the Twitter search. And it's not hard to find it either. I know most people are probably thinking, well, I just go up to the top of Twitter and I use the search. Yes, that's one way to do it. But if you go to twitter.com/search, twitter.com/search, that's where you can get to this page, the advanced search, and you can put in the dates that you want to search your tweets for. That would be great, especially around events, if you're searching for tweets around a certain time frame. Now, keep in mind too, because there's so many people providing content, not just on Facebook, but on Twitter as well. Twitter is considering, and most people now, especially in the social media industries, are thinking it's pretty much a done deal. Twitter is going to start filtering our Twitter feeds. I personally hope they don't, but I understand it from a business standpoint. But at the same rate, once again, there's so much content coming in to your Twitter feed, and a lot of it you're not even interested in, not even remotely interested in. So Twitter understands that. So what they're going to start doing is showing you tweets that they think are more relevant to you. I mean, at this point, they pretty much know what you retweet, what you tweet about. So they have a sense of what kind of content you would be most interested in. But I personally, I like all my Twitter content coming to me. I can filter my own Twitter feed very easily by using Twitter lists. I use Hootsuite a lot, and I can search hashtags and things of that nature. So I personally don't want Twitter filtering my feed because sometimes they think I might be only interested in one thing or the other, especially when major events are happening throughout the world. Sometimes I don't know about them unless other people are tweeting about them. So that might be one disadvantage to Twitter filtering our feeds. Some of the news going on around the world you may not even hear about if Twitter is only going to begin feeding you things they think are relevant to you. But be expecting more information on that to come. On LinkedIn, moving over to LinkedIn now. In case you haven't used this great little LinkedIn tool, when you're on your LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn now really gives you some insight into those individuals that are searching and looking at your LinkedIn profile. So if you're wondering, how to get this information, you go to your LinkedIn profile on your homepage of your LinkedIn and just go up to the top, and it'll you click on your profile and you can click on who's viewing your profile, and this information is made available to you. Now you can literally see where people are coming from. You can see what words, what kind of profile, what words in your profile are attracting people to your profile. I mean, technically as a business and as an individual, I want to know not only who is looking at my profile, but how did they find me? Did they find me based on something I put in a group? Did they find me just via search? Was it a keyword or something that I used? So now you can literally see where these individuals are coming from. So as you are creating or updating your Twitter, not your Twitter, but as you are updating your LinkedIn profiles for 2015, this is definitely something you want to keep in mind in using the proper keywords and making sure that the content and everything there is searchable. Some of you may or may not know about LinkedIn publishing, long form publishing. In other words, LinkedIn now gives us the opportunity to basically create our own blog if you wanted to, just on LinkedIn. For those of you who just are not ready to knock out a WordPress, or you're not ready to use some or Tumblr or something else, whatever you're going to use as a blogging platform, LinkedIn is a great way to get your feet wet in that arena. So technically you could use it as your blogging platform. I wouldn't necessarily say put all your eggs in this one basket. I would still say if you have a blog on your own website, use that, and then take that post and rewrite it just a little bit or rephrase it for your LinkedIn connections and your LinkedIn audience. A couple of other advantages. These posts that you're using, that you're creating on LinkedIn, are shareable across other social profiles. So you can share it on Twitter, you can share it on Facebook. So you can showcase your expertise way beyond just your connections on LinkedIn. You now have a great opportunity to also have people take that content you posted on LinkedIn and share it with their friends. Now, here's the other thing. You can also, these posts will become visible on your LinkedIn profile. At this point, you always want to have some form, it would be not always, but it's good. It's very, very good to have some form of content that further showcases what you know and your expertise. And so this LinkedIn publishing, these we call them long form. I mean, you can use them different kinds of ways. You can also use them to bring traffic back to your own website. At the bottom of each post, here's a tip right off the top. You could take your long form post and at the very end, do a call to action so that at the end of that post, you tell people, if you want more information, click this link, and that link should take them over to your website or to a landing page or wherever you want people to go to further boost your business. One other thing that you want to know is that these posts are indexable by Google. So once again, when it comes down to enhancing your overall social media and your overall web presence, this content is searchable. It's one more reason to use the proper keywords in your headline. You can also add an image, which is, well, I kind of cut this out, but when you go on to this particular area of your LinkedIn profile, you can see that you have ample opportunity to add an image to this particular post, and the whole image and the text and everything is now indexable by Google. One other really good advantage of using LinkedIn publishing is that the fact it's already on LinkedIn. Usually when you start a blog, you're starting a blog cold. In other words, it doesn't have an audience yet. The beauty of using LinkedIn publishing is that you already have connections on LinkedIn. So whenever you do your status updates, whenever you're posting content or whatever, people are already there seeing it. Same thing with the LinkedIn publishing. You already have an audience. Your connections are your audience. And then those connections share your content with their connections. So that's another great advantage to using LinkedIn publishing. Now, one of the things that this right here is really beginning to get on my nerve. So I'm griping about this just a little bit, because I understand people don't have time to go to each individual platform and, post something there. They want to just post something one time and just broadcast it across all of your social profiles. I understand it. I get it. But please, people, understand that every platform has a different audience. This individual works in the entertainment business. So I'm seeing a lot of people who use Facebook, who use the Instagrams and things of that nature, use the same kinds of behaviors that they do on Facebook. Please, people, it is not the same audience. Do not think it is cute to use an abundance of hashtags, an abundance of cute little icons and emoticons and things of that nature on LinkedIn. You are a business professional. So it's just not the kind of thing to do. I get it, and I understand why people do it, but if you can, craft, especially for LinkedIn, because this is where business professionals are searching for you. And when they see this kind of, a post like this, you can't even read. You don't want to do this because it could very well be a turnoff, especially if you are trying to reach out to recruiters, or you want recruiters to come to you. If you are trying to network with other business professionals, this kind of post just is not what you want to do on LinkedIn. This is cool for Twitter. This is also cool for Instagram. You can get away with it on Facebook to a degree, but LinkedIn, a post like this is definitely a no-no. So I want to wrap this up a little bit because I want to go ahead and get to the submitted questions that people had. And two, you can submit a question if you want, and I'll try to answer it as well. Give you one last chance to submit a question and have me answer it live right in this webinar. So you can go ahead and use the comments below, or if you're on YouTube or Google Plus, same thing. You can go ahead and put your questions there. So before I wrap up this kind of webinar part of this online event, consider these things, please. Do not use Facebook as your only web presence. You have to understand, people, you're renting space on Facebook. You don't own it. And this is true for any social platform. You are renting space. Your best bet is to formulate your best content on what you own, which is technically your website. Use your website, create your content there, then share it on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or wherever it is. Do it that way. Then you'll have a much better chance of keeping your content should something happen, or should Facebook get hacked, if Twitter gets hacked or goes down or whatever. Do not use just one platform, especially Facebook, as your only web presence. For the old schoolers, email is still one of the best marketing tools, so people use it. In fact, people have to log in to Facebook sometimes to see your content. They don't usually have to do that with email because it's already in their inbox. And not to mention too, it's people are probably more prone to check their email throughout the day more than they do Facebook, depending on your audience. And that might vary. But statistically, people are searching, or not searching, but people are more prone in a professional sense to read their emails throughout the day, even on a mobile phone, than they are checking for status updates on Facebook. So your best bet is to combine email with social media, and that's a great 1-2 punch in reaching your audience. So also, 2015, we are becoming more and more prone to using our mobile phones, our smartphones, as well as tablets. Not to say that laptops and desktop computers are going to go anywhere. They are not in the near future. However, people are more and more on the go, and because these instruments are they're more on the go. You can take them anywhere you want to go. You can do almost everything that you need to do within reason on a platform like a tablet than you can on a regular computer. So as you're developing your websites and as you're developing your content, start thinking about how is it going to look on a tablet? How is it going to look on a smartphone? The other thing you want to start doing is using video strategically. I've been saying for the last 2-3 years now, Google owns YouTube. Google is the #1 search engine. YouTube is #2. If you want to have a boost in your search engine results, as far as you appearing in search engine results, try video. And trying video means not just do a video and pop it up on YouTube and call it a day. You need to take that video and put a proper title on it, a description, use the tags, and then there's some other tips and tricks that I'll share with you later on, so that video pops up on the first page of search. Sometimes a video will pop up in search even before a website. So definitely consider integrating video in your social media marketing efforts in 2015. That said, you're going to have to up your content game as a whole in 2015. And what I mean by that is things are getting to the point where, yes, everybody's creating content, but what's the quality of the content that you're producing for your particular audience? Photos, the visual is where it's at right now with social media. Photos, strong visuals with video. And if you're not prone to doing a lot of photos, you're not in that kind of business where you lend yourself to doing a lot of visuals, you still can create content of value to your audience. It can be a white paper, tip sheets, things of that nature that people can take and share via email. They can still share it on Facebook, Twitter, or whatever else. But that content is of value to that particular reader. So as you are getting your social media strategy together for 2015, take all these things in consideration. Okay? Now I'm going to go back to me. All right, so we are back. Well, at least I'm back. Now I want to go ahead and respond to the questions that were submitted. And of course, if you have a question, you can submit it. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can go ahead and submit a question there. If you're watching this on Google+, you can submit a question there. And I'll try definitely to answer it. So one of the first questions that I got is from Jamaal. And Jamaal runs a very, very successful entertainment or media outlet on YouTube. And he literally wanted to know, well, technically, how can I get more active Twitter followers? And I think he's, I couldn't exactly figure out the tone in an email, but the important part, I think, is the active part, because we all know when these social profiles or these social platforms start giving out their statistics every year about how many people are on them, the reality of it is, statistically, you can lessen that number because not everybody that has a profile is actually active on that platform. So he wanted to know, one of the first questions he wanted to know was how to find or to attract more active followers on LinkedIn. Okay, so Jamaal, this is for you. First, in your efforts, you got to find where the people are. If you're already on Twitter, I'm hoping you're using a tool like, I use Hootsuite. It's one of my favorite tools, hands down. And using Hootsuite allows me to see just how active people are when they are following me, or people that I would like to follow me. You can literally see on an individual's timeline on Twitter, and this is something that people don't do a lot. People are so busy trying to get their number up, trying to get their follower numbers up, and I understand that. But at the same rate, take some time and go through profiles every now and again and see the engagement that an individual has. If they're just steadily broadcasting, and you never see anybody mention their name in their timeline, they're not retweeting anybody, they're not talking to anybody at all, and you can see their last update was June of 2013, right from the start, you already know they are not an active Twitter follower. So what you can do is use Twitter directories. You can also do this you can do this in a search too on Hootsuite, but there are directories called, there's two that I use sometimes. One is called Twello, Twello, Twello. Twello is a great directory that you can search for people to follow, and for, you can introduce yourself and start engaging with individuals who are also on Twitter so that they can follow you. There's another one called We Follow, WeFollow. So Twello and We Follow. That's another great way of finding active Twitter followers, or people that you might want to follow, people that you want to follow you. Another thing that you can do too is use Twitter lists. Twitter lists. For you particularly, Jamaal, if you are, since I already know a little background, on what you do, for those people that you are doing content about, and for those individuals that you want to follow you, go do a search on Twitter, see who they are following, see if they have any Twitter lists. Go through those lists. Now, at the end of the day, I know you're thinking this takes time. Yeah, it does. You're gonna have to put some time into it, but it doesn't have to take you all day. And this is something you can do in your leisure. I mean, you can do it on your mobile phone, while you're waiting for this and that and the other. But you can use the Twitter lists, and generally people that are creating lists, I would dare say, are people that are pretty, somewhat active on Twitter, because you're creating a list of individuals that you want to get the updates of generally on a weekly basis or on a regular basis. So that's another way to find individuals to follow you, and who eventually you want to follow as well. I also said, once again, take some time in as you're going through those Twitter lists, as you're going through Twitter in general. Look at the profiles of individuals. Check for their engagement. And it's really easy to do. It doesn't take a whole bunch of extra at all to do. So the other thing that I want to suggest is I created a video just for basically was answering this same question, and it was for actor, what's his name, Tay Diggs, and this was last year. And Tay Diggs was doing a campaign, and he was trying to get, like you, Jamaal, more Twitter followers, more relevant Twitter followers. But what he got was a whole lot of extra, more than he probably bargained for in the way that he did it. So I created a YouTube video, and in that video, I shared a couple of tips with him that I already shared a few minutes ago, and how to attract the right followers. And I'm talking about active Twitter followers. So I'm going to try to show you. This video is here. I'm going to share my screen a second because it's right here on my YouTube channel. I'm going to share my screen so you can see it. So it's right here. This is the video. I'm not going to play it, but if you watch this video, there's at least 9 tips in this video that will share with you how to get more Twitter followers. So, all right. So the other question that was asked, and we'll go back to seeing me now, because Jamaal, I know you had a couple more questions. Let me stop sharing my screen. Go back to me. So, the other question you had was how to properly tweet. Well, here's the thing, especially tweet stories, because I know already that you are a media outlet. And so people are literally looking at headlines on Twitter and on Facebook. And you're trying to figure out, well, how to best formulate your tweets so that you get more engagement. Well, the thing you gotta consider is this. One, a lot of what you do is around celebrity. So because you're doing a lot of stuff around celebrity, a lot of celebrities have Twitter profiles. So when you're crafting your tweets, and I would imagine when you are creating your, hopefully, now as a media outlet, you may or may not be using some sort of editorial calendar, or you're probably scheduling stuff in advance because you have a lot of content to get out to your audience. But as you are crafting those tweets to go out whenever, be sure to mention or mention those individuals that are featured in your content. Also, you want to use relatable hashtags. And what that will help you do is, one, when you start mentioning people in your tweets, of course, they get an alert that someone is talking about them. So hopefully they will take your content and retweet it. So that's one. Two, as far as using the hashtags, once again, hashtags are searchable. So when people are searching for individual names and hashtags, your content will come up in search. Also, when you are creating and drafting your tweets, and even on Facebook as well, be sure to use, on Facebook, we call it tagging. Be sure to tag those individuals that are mentioned in your content, whether it be a business, whether it be an individual, because at this point, almost, most celebrities at least have a fan page, and if they're still on the come up, then they might have a personal profile that they are using kind of sort of as a pseudo fan page until they make it big. So be sure to tag people on Facebook and on Twitter when you're crafting your tweets. Use @mentions. Use your hashtags. You can also use hashtags on Facebook. It's another way to properly write your content. Then there was a third question of how to use, this is a popular question. I got this question a lot, so there was no point in saying everybody who asked this question, because this question is very, very popular. How do you use Instagram and Pinterest to basically help grow your business? Okay, well, here's the deal. Especially for you, Jamaal, the reality of it is for your particular market, Instagram is great because I would dare say the people that are consuming your content range as young as probably 13, maybe 13 and up, and as old as or older as maybe up into their 50s, 60s, maybe. So, but we're talking about, I would be willing to bet the core of your audience is a little younger. So Instagram is great because for a couple of reasons. One, for your particular audience, I hate to say it, but and this is true for people at large, but we don't like to read as much. I hate to say it, but that's why Instagram has become one reason why Instagram has become so popular, because social media is so very visual. And for what you do and for the kinds of content you put out, people love seeing videos, 15-second videos. They love seeing celebrity. They love seeing behind the scenes. So you have a great opportunity to use Instagram that way. I probably would not, in all honesty, I wouldn't mess with Pinterest, not for what you're doing at this point. You could, I mean, you can test it to see, but I really think you would get a lot more out of combining Twitter and Instagram, especially when you're doing live events. Because as you're covering red carpets, as you're doing interviews with celebrities and things of that nature, bring your audience along with you. You can do that very easily via mobile using Instagram and Twitter. And of course, you can also share it on Facebook. Now, if you're going to set up an Instagram profile, be sure to have a link to your website in your bio. Or if you want to send people somewhere else, because on Instagram you can't share a link like you can on other hyperlink like you can on other platforms. So you can just tell people for more information, if you want to see this and that and the other, hit the bio and there's a link there. Another tip that you could really do is to tease your content. Use that 15-second Instagram video tool and tease an upcoming interview you've got. Tease something about being on the red carpet coming up, kinds of things that traditional outlets do. Traditional media, they call it a 15-second bumper, generally right before commercial break. Well, you're not doing commercial breaks per se, but you can still use 15 seconds to tease something that's coming up, especially knowing that you've got so many award shows coming up that I'm sure you'll be covering, doing celebrity interviews. You have a perfect opportunity to use Pinterest to your advantage. And of course, once again, if you're going to be there, be sure to use hashtags. Be sure to use mention the celebrities, because there's a lot of celebrities on Instagram. Be sure to use their usernames, and also you can tag those individuals too. And if you're starting out on Instagram, you got to put some skin in the game, and you're going to have to be active. In other words, you're going to have a presence. It's not just we're here and we're just blasting out content all the time. To build an audience on Instagram, just like with everywhere else, you're going to have to start following some other people, start commenting on other people's posts on Instagram. Use an app that will allow you to repost other people's content. So that's pretty much it. Once again, Instagram provides a great opportunity for you to feed traffic back to your website. I would not mess with Pinterest per se. You could test it for a little while, but for the audience that you have, Instagram is probably where you want to spend more of your time. Okay, now I'm going to go to the next person's question. And this is for Mike. Mike had a question too. Mike owns an RV business. He wanted to know in general, how could he attract clients? He had a broad question. How do I attract clients using social media? Now, understanding that Mike has an RV business. For those who work in the entertainment game, you know, we use the RVs for video shoots, for commercials. You know, it's what we call the bread truck or the star. I forgot what they call it. It's the other. It's a lot of names for them, but whatever. It's where the talent sits until they're called to the set. Since you don't have an official green room, or when you're out and about shooting, the RVs literally provide the housing for the talent. So you want to know how to use social media to attract more clients. Well, uh, blogging would be great on your own website first, because you can literally give people, once again, a behind the scenes look at what it is you do. Because the reality of it is you are closer to the action than the average. And people do want that kind of, now I'm not saying you need to be gossipy. That's not what I'm saying at all. At all, because then that'll kill your business. What you want to do instead is share with people how that RV is integral to the whole production. How does that RV that the talent is using, or the producer or the director, how does it provide such a benefit to the production as a whole? That's what you want to be blogging about. And you can do that even with the visuals, because once again, if you're there on location with permission, you might be able to even include the talent in a picture. If not, we understand, we know how this goes. But if it's okay, then you can include the talent. You know, you could even technically interview the talent, you know, if there's nothing, if it's okay with with the powers that be, or interview other people. You have technically you could interview the production assistant or the location scout, because once again, those are individuals who work very closely with the production that generally don't get any shine, but those individuals work directly with you. And because you mentioned them in your blog post, they're probably more willing to take your content and share it on their blog, or share it on their Twitter profile, or share it on Facebook. And that's one way you can attract more business. Also, you want to keep in mind, because you're doing location shoots. Now, I also know that, Mike, you shoot a lot of photos because your hobby is photography. So when you are literally on location, especially some places picturesque, go ahead and take those photos and include your RV in them, and talk about once again the location. If it was a location that was hard or challenging to even get to because of the size of your RV, the only person that's going to know that story is you. But if you blog about it, people can see, well, wow, I can that was pretty challenging. How did he, being the expert driver that he is, how was he able to maneuver that? So you have a grand opportunity to go ahead and share your expertise and share with people just how you do what you do on a regular basis. Okay, so that's Mike. Thank you, Mike, for your question. Now, I want to also, before I leave with you, Mike, because you're using blogging on your own website, and then you're going to share it on Facebook, Twitter, and the like. Those images that you were using, always, 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 don't just upload a picture all willy-nilly that has a whole bunch of numbers and says .jpeg or .emg. What you want to do is, when you are posting or adding that image to your blog post, you want to optimize that image for search. In other words, generally, you want to add the name of the city, location, or you can even add, you might be able to even add the title of the production. Maybe you can ask on that, but that might be another way too, to get some boost in your search engine results. Especially when people are searching for a particular actress, they're searching for a particular location, and they're searching for a particular individual. If you are taking pictures with the cast, if you're taking pictures of where you are, always, always, always include that in the title of your image before you add it to the blog post. So you add that to the description and you add that to the alt tags. And you can send me an email if you don't know what alt tags are, and I'll tell you and I'll show it to you. So it's very easy to do. But that will also help more people who are searching for where you are, or searching for where you've been, or searching for the product or service that you provide. That'll help them find you even better. And once again, use video, because at this day in the game, photo and video are very visual. YouTube is the #1 search engine. Google is the #1 search engine. YouTube is #2. So incorporate some short little videos. You could even do a video, showing the inside of your RV. And then that would give even more people an inside look into how does this particular entity fit into the production as a whole. And then as you are developing online relationships with directors, producers, production executives, those individuals who basically are the ones who say, oh, we need a bread truck, we need to house our talent. What are we going to do? Those individuals that are calling you, you need to keep a list of them, keep their email, of course, that's a given. But if they've got social profiles, if they're on Twitter, if they're on Facebook, you need to be engaging with them where they already are, which is on those profiles. And as you're doing the blog posts and things of that nature, be sure to share it with them on those profiles, and be sure to, once again, tag them and mention them. And hopefully they'll take your content and share it with their audience. All right, so we got one more coming up, and this is one of my favorite places in LA to do business, OfficeSlice. Hello, people. Hello, OfficeSlice. Hello, OfficeSlice. It's a great co-working space located in Sherman Oaks, California. If you are a freelancer, if you are somebody who just can't get work done at home and you need a space to get things done, then definitely check out OfficeSlice. OfficeSlice has this question: how to best engage their audience. Okay. OfficeSlice being a brick and mortar business, very traditional business as far as that's concerned. And this is true for anybody who has a brick and mortar business, or even a brand. You have to humanize your approach. You can't, if you're going into social media in 2015 with this mindset of, I'm just going to throw up this social profile, just throw up some content and just broadcast content all day, every day. That is not how it's going to work to get any results. I mean, technically you're on these social profiles to get results. That won't get you the results that you want, because times they are changing and you need to evolve and change right along with them. And you really have to humanize your business if you want people to engage with it. So best way to say it is act like a human. Even though you're a business, you're a brick and mortar business, act like a human when you are on your social profiles. Don't be afraid to ask questions directly to the people who are following you or liking your content. This is true on Twitter. This is true on the fan page. Generally on your fan page, those are individuals who are already familiar with your business on a Facebook fan page, generally speaking. On Twitter, you have a great opportunity to introduce your business to new people. Whether, I understand that you want people to be local. So once again, the same advice I gave to Jamaal about doing Twitter searches. Find those people who are local. It'll take you a little bit of time, but it doesn't take all day. Find those people who are local, who can use your business, and reach out to them with a friendly hello. Do Twitter searches for people who are complaining or looking for co-working spaces. Find those individuals on Facebook. Finding those individuals on Facebook is going to be a little bit more difficult because everybody's got their settings in place. But you can find those individuals on Twitter a lot easily, especially now with the advanced search. So finding those conversations and introduce yourself to people. Don't do a hard sell up front, but start a conversation, start a dialogue, share an article with them about the benefits of co-working and things of that nature. Start there. Then you can also, once you've developed that kind of relationship, start sharing some content of value. Or you can go to some websites like Quora or American Express Open Forum, and especially on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, of course, you do have a company page. You're kind of limited in what you can do in a company page. However, the individuals that are running OfficeSlice, you have an opportunity to once again represent OfficeSlice on a LinkedIn, in an open forum, in a Quora, to tell people, one, about your business, but also to provide answers, to provide content of value. Once you begin acting more like an individual and less like a business in some instances, you'll begin to develop online relationships, and more people will say, oh, okay, I just spoke with somebody about this very thing. And that will help you bring more people that are interested directly in your business, and you'll create more engagement. Sometimes you got to get off Facebook and go other places in order to bring people to Facebook. The same thing for Twitter too. But at the end of the day, what you really want to do is you want to bring people to your website. Facebook and Twitter are cool, but the more content of value you can provide on your website, the better. And then also, speaking of creating a post on Facebook and Twitter, create posts that ask questions. In other words, don't post something that's a yes or no. Post a question on Facebook that requires a longer answer. And when you post it, be sure to tag people. Be sure to mention other businesses. And as you are operating that fan page, you need to go on other people's fan pages and comment and like and share. You got to get out of your own backyard if you want to boost engagement. If you want to boost engagement, be engaging. Go other places on Facebook, Twitter. If you're going to start any social, if you're going to have a presence on any platform, you're going to have to act more like a person and less like a business, till you develop that kind of human relationship, and then you can start pushing what it is you do and how that individual can benefit from that relationship that you've developed online with them, and thus boost engagement. So it's about, oh, time went by real fast. Okay, so the reality of it is, people, it is time to go. So I thank everybody for submitting questions. I didn't reach out to every individual because some of the questions really were kind of all the same and kind of overlapped. So if you do have a question, feel free once again to hit me up. You could, I can be found everywhere. I'm on Facebook, facebook.com. I'm on Twitter. Matter of fact, I can share my screen with you once again. You can comment on this video. That would be great as well. Be sure, please, to subscribe to my channel and share this video with some people that have similar questions. Or if it was your question, please go ahead and ask me. You can email me at alice@SheerSocial. You can email me there. I'll share this with you right quick. Oh, hold on. Let me share this one little page with you. And it has all my contact information. And I'll share this. Hold on. Share screen. Okay, so here I am. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. and tell me what your questions are. And that way I can develop more content that's relevant to you as an individual and as a business, as opposed to doing very, very broad stuff. I'm more interested in 2015 in developing content that hits the nail on the head for you and for your business, as well as getting to, once again, I'm going to practice what I just preached and get to know you more and stop. I don't want to say uh, stop being a business, but I want us to get to know each other a little better. And the only way to do that is to continually invite you to ask me questions. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and email. Send in your questions and I will try to answer them as best I can. And if you want to see more of these kinds of videos, let me know. And maybe I can do this on a bi-monthly basis or maybe even a weekly basis. Just let me know. Okay? So that's it. I want to thank everybody for submitting your questions, and have a great 2015. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye.